Romance scams. Older adults are often the most vulnerable. Joining us with some ways on how to protect your loved ones from common grandparent scams is Better Business Bureau President and CEO Simone Liss. Good morning, Simone. Good to see you.
Good morning.
And we're not just talking about grandparents here. We're really talking about as seniors here.
Yeah.
What makes them so vulnerable to these kinds of scams?
Well, I think everybody is really vulnerable to a scam. I think with seniors, you're often embracing new technology. There may be, some challenges with some, memory loss or just hearing disability where, for example, in an emergency scam, when someone calls you, you're listening to them on the phone, but maybe you don't hear as well, and maybe you don't hear the fact that it isn't exactly your loved one's voice. And so as a result, you think you're talking to the person, your grandchild, but it's not.
Right.
So it's a combination of all these things that can get in the way and take advantage of that in order to have you lose money.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate that they're being targeted in the way they are. So more on that emergency call scam. Like, how does that work exactly?
Well, often it's, call late at night. So again, catching you unexpected, and your loved one may or may not be out of town. We do tend to be very, let's just say we're very good at posting when we do go out of town. And so if someone is scrolling across your feed and they find your grandparents' contact information, they can take advantage of that, call you, your grandparent, and then just say, listen, pretend to be that person. Claim that they are, for example, we had one scenario where the person said they were in jail, they were injured, they needed money. So in that situation, the person lost almost $12,000 wire transferring out to get their grandson out of jail. So that is one example of an emergency scam.
And older adults can also fall victim to romance scams.
Yeah. Well, everyone is looking for love, right? And especially, and if you've lost someone, so you might be, emotionally vulnerable. And now we're all going online, right? That is a very common way to look for people. And so you connect with someone online, and very soon you're having great conversations. This isn't a very quick scam. It may take time to build up. And before you know it, the person you haven't even met is now asking you for help because they are in need of help. And so that can happen to seniors too.
Yeah, and home improvement fraud has been identified as the top risk for seniors. So what are some of the red flags that people should be watching for? Well,
red flags for home improvement show up. They are being very aggressive. If you don't do this now, you're going to lose out on this opportunity. With a home improvement scam, they might want to come in and do an inspection. But really, you really want to take the time to investigate and research who you're dealing with any sort of transaction. So if someone does show up at your door, take their information and send them away. Be in control.
Don't be duped by the urgency, the so-called urgency of the situation. So what are some steps that a senior can take to, be safer in a digital world?
Yeah. Well, number one, I would say think before you click. Lots of things are coming at you at all times, and nobody is an expert in everything. So if you can just take the time to think about what you're receiving, know that banks aren't going to contact you that way, if you get a phone call and it seems like it's coming from your bank, it's probably not. So always, you're a conduit for information. You can take the information, but do not respond to it. Validate the information first by going to a reputable source. Go to a family member, go to a friend, come to the Better Business Bureau. Go to the bank and ask them. We're going to help you navigate this.
Really good information this morning. Simone Liss from the Better Business Bureau. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.